Jeez, thanks for telling me that. Okay, I hope you can hear me now. Dang. I don't know if you guys couldn't hear me the whole time. I'm glad someone said that and I can actually read the comments now. And I don't know how my microphone got turned off. Well, hopefully you've heard me all this time, y'all. Okay. Thanks for telling me that. It should be on now. Mic check, right? See, this is what happens when I can't see the comments. I hate when the comments don't come in earlier. Um, okay. Well, today's mental health moment. Oh, thank you. Hi from Boston. Thanks so much for joining here. But today's mental health moment, hopefully you heard the beginning and all the announcements. But I did want to share with you today again as we head into pretty soon we'll be like middle of the year here, right? That you're allowed to have your practice of gratitude, be grateful, be working on yourself, right? Being a better version of yourself, which is what mental health moment is all about. And still be in a place sometimes where you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed out. That is allowed. It means you're being true to yourself, right? So I'm gonna give you a couple tips about that today. So the first thing I want you to think about is, and this is a process, you all. I always say everything's a process. But if you have guilt, which many of us do, right? When it comes to self-care, when it comes to taking care of ourselves, sometimes we have guilt even of making positive changes. Like you almost like feel guilty releasing the old you or the old identity. It's a weird thing that happens sometimes, even though you know the changes you're working on are for the better. But you're like, wait a minute, have I changed all that sort of thing? But the first tip I want to really remind you of today is just think about releasing guilt when it comes to making such changes. For some of you, you made goals because you shared some of them at the beginning of the year. You're like for yourself, your wellness goals, and some of you are killing it on your goals. Like you're like, yes, whatever it is that you wrote down, right? Like you're taking more time for yourself, you're having more self-care, or you're honoring yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, maybe all the above. Like you're doing really well, right? But again, you might have this mental thing like this feeling of discomfort almost with the new you or the positive changes that are coming about, or maybe other people are making comments about you even though you changed for the better, right? And you're having a hard time with that. Like all those things can be true. Um, and it's normal actually to have those type of thoughts sometimes, but again, I want you, in whatever way works best for you, to work on releasing that said guilt for you. If you have guilt surrounding taking care of yourself, I've heard that a gazillion times. I feel like um all sorts of different guilt that comes up. But if you have that guilt of taking care of yourself, and if you have that guilt of changing for the better, because you deserve to be the best version of yourself. You deserve to have self-care. You deserve to be emotionally healthy. You deserve to have joy. Like you deserve all those things, right? So again, working on how do you, or asking yourself the question, how do I release this guilt? If that is something that is true for you. And again, for some of you, you're like, nope, I'm good. Because I've seen some of your comments. Some of you are like, nope, I'm changing. I got my self-care. Like I'm feeling great about it. Again, either way, it's not a right or wrong. We've talked a lot also on here. Well, guilt is one thing, but also I don't know, like just a self-blame game sometimes that we can get into, like all these sorts of negative thinking patterns that we're working on getting out of, right? Just making sure not to have that, right? So that's the first thing today. And the other thing, and hi, thanks so much for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So let me know where you're tuning in from today in the chat. I can see some of your messages. I know not all of them, unfortunately. I don't know why. I don't know why technology wants to do what it does. I can see some of you from Facebook. So hey y'all. LinkedIn, I know you're there too. I just can't see the comments yet. And sometimes they just come in late. But thanks again for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. If you're just tuning in today, we're talking about just this idea of, well, first of all, working on any guilt that you may have towards taking care of yourself, that you may have, towards self-care, that you may have towards relaxation or taking a break. Sometimes you are allowed to take a break. You're allowed to be grateful, you're allowed to want more out of life, and you're allowed to be overwhelmed and say, "You know what? I need to take a break." Right? All those things can happen at the same time, but I feel like sometimes from conversations I've had that like we almost tend to think it has to be one or the other. And that's not true. It's not that you have to be like, I feel grateful, so therefore I'm never stressed out. Like that, like nope. Nope. You it is okay to be in a phase of your life that you are stressed out, you are overwhelmed, and though you still feel grateful. Like those two things can coexist. That's allowed. Ontario's in the house. Welcome. New Jersey's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So, um, so, um, so remembering that again, you can have that space. You can have that space of gratitude. You can still have that space of saying, you know what, I need to process some things that are happening right now. The other thing I wanted to mention, so that's sort of tip number one is working on if that applies to you, that you have that guilt or you have any sort of shame or whatever it is, again, towards working changing for the better, right? Because sometimes those things come about. The second thing I want to remind you of today is that sometimes we will try to look okay on the outside, if that makes sense. So maybe on your social media, or maybe at work, or at school, or with your family or friends or whomever, you're, trying to look okay, but really internally you are struggling. So are you making sure that you are checking in with yourself? Again, so important. I think I talk about this on many, many mental health moments for those of you who are not new to mental health moment, but it is so important for us to be checking in with yourself, meaning asking yourself, how am I doing? What do I need physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, right? Like really checking in with yourself because it's very easy to get caught up in I was reading this quote the other day about, well, it was about women because it's Women's Month, just about how it's so easy to smile at everyone and try to help everyone and be everything to everyone, not just for women, but the quote was about women, but really inside, like, how are you doing? Right? Like, are you checking in with yourself too? Not that you shouldn't be checking in with others. Please help others. Like a great thing to do. Please help others around you. Please help your friends, your family members, your community members, everybody. However, I also need you to be taking care of yourself as well, and checking in with your own needs also, right? And that doesn't mean that just because you check in just because you check in with your needs that you can't have help around you, right? You may need the support of a friend, family member, coworker, neighbor, therapist, coach, whomever. You may need the help of someone else to get through a certain time period, and that's okay. But sometimes you don't even know you need that because you haven't checked in with yourself first to really know like how you're doing. Because a lot of times we're just on autopilot, or there's a lot happening, or we're very distracted by things around us, right? Yep. Someone say, yes, I know, and struggle on the inside. I've been there before. We can't correct what we don't confront. Absolutely. You can't. And I feel like a broken record, y'all, sometimes. I feel like I repeat the thing so many times, but I do because I just want to emphasize it to you that like one of the things about self-awareness. So before I go to the third tip today, because I'm glad someone brought that up about we can't correct what we don't confront. One of the things about working on self-awareness, one of the things about really starting to listen, like really starting to pay attention to your own thoughts, which happens when you're in silence and you work on clarity, is that sometimes you can scare yourself because you're like, wait a minute. Like I didn't even know. Like there's certain things that you may not even know about yourself. Certain things you can find out on your own by just searching for clarity. For some of you, it's prayer. For some of you, it's meditation. For some of you, it might be with a therapist or coach or whomever else, where you get that clarity, you get that insight, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know my behavior was, my feelings were causing me to do this type of behavior or whatever it is. But sometimes it is scary to have that self awareness, and you'd be like, why would I think like that? Or why would I act like that? You know what I mean? So when you have that self awareness, though, it's really really important for you not to get into the self-blame game. Instead, thinking of it as, okay, now right? Whatever it is about you, we all learn something new no matter what age we are. We learn different things about yourself. Now you know this said situation, and okay, how can you improve it? Right? What steps do you need to take to help yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally? Right? And baby steps count too. Right? We're all in different seasons of our lives. So if you're in a season right now, you're like, this is a dark time, taking some leaps into my wellness and self-care and all that, it just feels too heavy. It feels too much. It's all good. Maybe you're in a taking baby steps phase, and that's okay. Or maybe you're like, I feel good, things are great. A lot of positive things are happening right now. I have a lot of energy, momentum, and you're like, I'm ready to take a leap. You're right. Like then you take the leap. But again, it has to come from a place of knowing how are you doing physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and really checking in with yourself. Um, someone said, "One of the most loving things I do for me is mirror talk. Looking into my own eyes, I love you, I forgive you, and I vow to take better care of me." Woo! I feel like celebrating you. That's so wonderful. I love to hear that. That is so actually, oh man, I was reading something about that the other day, about mirror talk because that's a very powerful tip, actually. I'm glad you brought that up because when you it's sort of like, like sometimes you like you sit in your thoughts, like when you really sit with yourself, sometimes, like I said, it can be a little scary because you're like, oh, you learn certain things. Or also you have an opportunity, especially with mirror talk, like really trying to connect with yourself. Affirmations, I'm a huge fan of them, but whatever it is you need to start telling yourself, even if you don't believe it right now, like you deserve certain things. Some of you are working on your worthiness level, that you are worthy of having happiness in your life, you're worthy of love, you're worthy of success, you're worthy of being healthy. Like that's okay. Like maybe that's your journey right now because of things that have happened to you in your life. But just like that person was saying, like having those conversations with yourself, whether you're just sitting down with yourself again in your silent time or meditation time or prayer time, or you're in the mirror or wherever you're at, if you're in the car, wherever, like just making sure that you're also pouring into yourself. Because sometimes, I think I said this last week, but sometimes we have to be our own cheerleaders, and that's okay. Some of you are surrounded by the most amazing, like, I hope that for you, just amazing people and people who are very supportive. Some of you, you may be like, not so much right now at this phase of my life for whatever reason. Either way, you are in your own thoughts. So you have an opportunity to literally start to cheer yourself on, right? And be your own cheerleader and say the positive things to yourself, even when you don't believe it. But you're working on training your brain. You all know, for some of you, you all know, wrote a book on it, right? Books on it, mindset training. It is a real thing. You have to train your mind, rewire your mind back to a healthier place sometimes. And again, I don't want to minimize. Sometimes you can do this on your own. Sometimes there's just really heavy, hard things that happen to us in life, traumatic things, losses, disappointments, all sorts of things that happen that you do need to reach out to a mental health professional or a coach or a person at a place of worship or friend, family member, or someone else to help you get through that said difficult experience. And that's okay too. Either way, it's good. Um, okay. So, oh, there was someone that came in. I lost it. Okay, there was someone that came in earlier. I was gonna shout you out, but I don't see the comment anymore. Um, so I wanted to remind you of that. And then the third tip I wanted to share with you today is that you also have to really give yourself permission. Gosh, one of the things that I heard a lot, of one of my last books that I wrote that was resonating with a lot of people, and some of you I know obviously read the book, was the chapter about giving yourself permission to heal. That is a very real thing. Giving yourself permission to heal, giving yourself permission to like take a pause, take a break, um, is for some of you harder said than done, but it is possible. But it's about being intentional. Everything for me, maybe because I'm a psychologist by training, everything for me boils down to mindset. No, but there's so many things, you all, that we have choices. Not everything, we can't control everything, right? But there are certain things in our life that we have choices about, And it really takes us being intentional. So being intentional to say, you know what, I give myself permission to, whatever it is that you're going through, that may be a big thing, maybe a stressful thing, but you're giving yourself permission to take a pause. You're giving yourself permission to take a rest, a break. You're giving yourself permission to take care of yourself. That's a gift that you can give to yourself. But again, because we're all at different places in our wellness journey, for some of us, it's just easier than others. All right. Someone said, yes, I did. I just did a devotional about next level to stop waiting for permission or approval. And sometimes we need someone to help us navigate. Um, Stop waiting for others to give us permission or approval to pause. Yes, absolutely. That's another thing. You all, okay. Oh my gosh, y'all are gonna get me on my soapbox tonight. Okay. I'm gonna wrap up today's mental health moment. But when you all write these good comments, I have to respond to them because they're very good. But you know, it is, if you know, now you have to know though, but if you know that you are making changes in your life for the good, so there's a lot of habits out there. Some of them are not healthy for us, and some of them are healthy and good for us. But if you know clearly this is a healthy habit or healthy change for you, something positive for you in your life, please do not wait for someone else to give you permission to heal in that way. Right? Like if this is for the betterment of you, which is also in theory, if it's a really true, a good thing, and you're a better version of yourself, you're helping people around you too, to have to experience that better, happier, healthier version of yourself. So we don't need to wait for permission for someone else to say, okay, yes, you can heal now, right? Like or permission to take the break or permission to take the pause for you. So it's really again about being in that mindset though. First you have to be in the mindset. It's very hard, it's not impossible, but it's very hard to make massive changes when like you're unaware of what's happening, you're not in the mindset, you haven't really fully committed to it. It's a lot more difficult versus just getting to that point where you say, okay, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready to take some steps. Again, sometimes it's a baby step, sometimes it's a leap, depending on where you're at in your journey, but you're ready, right? You make that commitment. You're ready. I'm going to take care of myself now. Maybe this is your year, maybe this is your month. I don't know. Maybe this is your week, right? For you to say, okay, now I'm ready. I'm going to make that commitment to take care of myself. Oh, that's so nice. Someone says, first time I'm here and this is great. Welcome. We have permission to come out of hiding and evolve to the next level. Absolutely. Absolutely. You absolutely um positively are allowed to go to the next level, whatever that means for you. And um my one of my speaking coaches, Jeremy Anderson, like he always reminds us, our group, it's like always grateful, never settle, right? Be grateful for where you're at right now in your journey, but you don't have to settle. You can go to the next level again, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, whatever it is for you, you can work right on getting to the next level. A lot of times though, we have certain blocks, like we may have, like someone was saying earlier, somebody's telling you something that's probably not even true, right, about you, or you're telling things to yourself that's not even true about you. Just because you think something doesn't make it true, right? Or you have maybe worthiness issues, where you don't feel like you deserve certain things, even though you do, right? So like there's just things sometimes that we have to mentally and emotionally sort through, um, in order to experience that said next level, whatever that looks like for you. But it is possible for you. It's very possible for you. Someone said, excellent steps. Black women empowered, wishing you all the best. Thank you. Yes, whatever that means for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we all have different definitions. There's not a right or wrong, right? The biggest thing I would say for you is if if it improves your life, right? If you're working on something to improve yourself, I'm a huge fan. In case you couldn't tell you all, this is. I'm trying to think what year this is. I have to ask Dr. Jackie. I really feel like this might be year 10. Oh my gosh, I have to ask her. I think this might be year 10, y'all. It's probably in the summer sometime. I'd have to go like hunt down the first episode if I could find it. Mental health moment. But yeah, it just, I'm a huge fan of personal development, which is why I'm here with you all every week for 10 years, probably 10 years or so, almost 10 years. But it's just very empowering. It's very, very possible for you, right? It's very possible for you to be healthier. It's very possible for you to make changes. It really, really though starts with your mindset. It really starts with you making the intention to, make said changes for you, right? It's oh my gosh, I have so many stories. I've just seen it so much throughout my career, and it's so cool to see, like, when that light bulb goes off for someone, I'm like, "Wow, that's so cool." Right? And then because it happens to many of us, we're like, "Oh, okay." Like, you right? Like, now I'm ready. Like, you make those changes, and then you see your life start to flourish in other ways, in other areas of your life. It's pretty cool. Mindset shift, yes. Someone said, "Yeah, it's really wow, 10 years, nice." Yeah, I have to ask Dr. Jack, but I think this is I feel like this summer-ish sometime. Like I said, I'm gonna have to hunt down, y'all. I'm gonna have to hunt down to figure out exactly what month that first episode was. I actually met Dr. Jackie. I'll have to remind her too. So Dr. Jackie King, by the way, who's an amazing human. She knows I love her. She started Black Women Empowered Incorporated. So she's the founder of this whole network, which is so cool. She's done like amazing work. I got a chance to honor her last year at my event, which was in Atlanta that I was telling you all about earlier. And so yeah, we met. I know for sure we met in 2016. And then I don't remember when I started Mental Health Moment though, but I feel like it was that year, which would be 10 years. So I'll have to figure out what month and let you all know. Maybe we'll do a little celebration. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, I digress. So I'm glad I was able to see some of your all's comments. I know some of it I can't see for some reason. But it's all good. But as I wrap up here today's mental health moment, I do want to thank you. I always want to thank you. Not attending, I say attending like this is class. Maybe it is class. Not just being here and showing up to be on my live, which is amazing. And thank you for that. But really, really and truly for you. I am like so excited. I love to see people win. That's like my whole thing in life. And I'm so excited when you guys get on here. I'm so excited to read your comments. I love the changes that I hear you all making in your life. I am rooting for you. I know I don't know all of you all personally, but I am rooting for you. And please know that it's possible. Please know that change is possible. I Unfortunately, I'm a huge optimist, but I promise you not every day is gonna be easy. I wish I could. I would be lying. Not every day is gonna be easy. Life just throws us curveballs, right? But though, when you work on your mental resilience, when you work on being a better version of yourself, when you work on taking care of yourself, when you work on reaching out to your support system, whatever that may look like, getting help that you may need at different phases of your life, like all of those things are important, right? To make sure that you stay as whole as possible, right? That you make sure you can be as strong, mentally strong as possible, especially emotionally strong as possible, and healthy as possible through this journey, this crazy journey called life. Right. So, oh, I love it. Women in Network, the name of my organization. I love it. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I want to leave you with that today. I was reading some of your all's comments. But I want to leave you with that today, just as a reminder again. Thank you for being here for you. I will be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Be blessed. Have an amazing week. I will see you all next week. Bye, guys.